Hello, welcome to my story time. And this is pretty much back to same stuff I've been going over, but I have a little different take on it now. But anyway, this week started off with me waking up to an odd dream of following my mom and my late brother into the house, and my brother turning around and looking at me said, "You're not welcome here." And then he decided to, I don't know if he meant to rub his fingers over it or throw it at me or what he did, but he set off a spider, large brown spider, and it jumped at me as my right after my brother slammed the door in my face. And me realizing in that moment was this is not real and he can't keep me out of here. So I went to follow him back in, and then, well, my husband's alarm went off, so that's where it got left. Anyway, I ended up following this up with going to the nursing home and finding a nurse there that is actually familiar with my mom and is actually extremely familiar with vascular dementia. She has been taking care of patients since she was 18 years old. She's in her late 30s now, so she's got some experience, which, believe me, I was very grateful for. Because even with all the videos, all the reading I've done, everything I've done, not one of them really expresses or shows my experience, because my experience is my experience. But one of the things that I've been coming across a lot with vascular dementia was that they can be completely normal one day, and next day wake up and it's all just changed. Not like Alzheimer's, which can be a gradual buildup. It's sudden. And that is what happened to her, because my mother for her entire life was extremely depressed, may have even been bipolar. I don't know if I would call her manic depressive, because I really didn't see manic episodes, but she had a tendency to be very cold and very much so it iced people out. In fact, I had made a suggestion to her one time, well, hey, why don't you go over to the senior center? You can make friends. No, those people over there are too uppity. Uppity? What? I okay. I had nothing for that, because it's like, why would you even say that? But that was her. I mean, and especially after the loss of my dad, and she couldn't deal with it. But anyway, which, like I said, the vascular came on suddenly. And at that time, my brother, or late brother now, was her caregiver. And he was, I guess, the only thing I can think of is a brain damaged alcoholic. He had drunk so much vodka through his life that it just destroyed his brain, completely destroyed it. So he wasn't able to function at that, but none of us really knew or understood how bad it was at that time. I can look back on it now and recognize it for what it was. At the time when we were in it, no, there was no seeing that. Anyway, so like I said, I got to chat with this nurse and I was able to explain some things to her. And she just looked at me and she went, "Oh, that explains a lot." I was like, "What?" She goes, "Well, when she walks down the hall, because my mother is a walker, or when she would walk, because she's not walking as much anymore. But when she would walk, she would just go from point A to point B, turn around, come back, and go back. That's all she would do. She would ignore everyone, wouldn't look at anybody, nothing." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell people, and nobody believes me." And she goes, "That explains it." And she goes, "You're right. Her personality didn't change." And I said, "No, it didn't." It's even with her eating. She has an automatic response to just eat and eat and eat and eat. And there is no stopping it. There's no getting in the way of it. I said, "Well, that comes from the fact that my brother was starving her." And even my aunt can further confirm this yesterday when I had a chat with her. She goes, "Yeah, there was always an overabundance of food in the house, more than was necessary. But after your dad passed, she would just go and stand in front of the refrigerator and stare at it, just looking at the food." And I don't know if it's that she couldn't process that, yeah, I'm hungry. She could process that. I'm hungry. I want food. She couldn't process what to do with it. It's one of the things she lost was the ability to process what to do with it. And as a result of that, she didn't know how to feed herself. And of course, my brother wasn't going to get up and do it, which was super frustrating. You had to actually fix the food for her and take it to her. She would eat every bite of it. And even now in the nursing home, not only does she eat every bite of the food they put in front of her, if her neighbors at the tables have not finished their food, she will finish it for them. Staff really has to watch her because she will take people's food. I said, yeah, it's muscle memory. That's what she does. And they're like, okay, that explains it. And they even comment that they can only tell what she needs by her facial expressions. If the smile goes away, because that's all she does, she smiles. But if the smile goes away, they know there's something going on. And the nurse, she can touch different areas to see if she'll grimace because that's all she does. She smiles and she grimaces. That's it. And there's no other way to tell. I mean, her expression is completely vacant. It's like when I went up there 2 weeks ago, and I've been going up there every week, but 2 weeks ago, she was sitting up straight. Yet, or Tuesday when I went, she was hunched over and she couldn't sit up straight. She couldn't sit back. She was just hunched, which I know is very typical for declining Alzheimer's dementia. And I know that also at these stages, once you get into the later stage, they all look about the same. Because there was another gentleman there that when I had seen him a month or two ago, he was up walking around, talking, laughing. He was there. To Tuesday when I was there, he was shuffling and hunched over and just kind of muttering to himself. I was like, oh, okay. I remember this guy. Just from a couple months ago. It's like he's declining super fast, whereas my mother is declining. I can't say slow, even though it is slow, because she's declining in stages. She is declining in a stair step stage, which is another very common thing with Alzheimer's dementia, is they will stair step down, plateau, and then just stay there. And right now she is I think she's right before her final stair step. She's going to have one more decline because right now she is steadily declining. And even though the nurse told me, she goes, well, she is in the wheelchair now. She's not pacing back and forth like she was. It's just rare. It's not very often. But that tells me she's getting weaker. And this is what makes me even more grateful that I have her in a really good home because I can take care of her. But now I found that I guess it kind of depends on how long she stays in this stage as to what's next for me. So I'm trying to get in touch with a lawyer and I'm trying to set up some final stuff for her, which later, as I found out, I now know why I did not know about some of these final steps is one, I needed to talk to a lawyer, and two, the department that controls it doesn't want people talking about it. So you want to find out what it is, you need to go find it for yourself and talk to an elder care lawyer. I can't express that enough. Talk to an elder care lawyer to get your loved ones, if financial needs met. Talk to one. And I'm trying to get in touch with one now, and I just haven't heard back from anybody. I've got 2 others to call, which I'm probably going to be calling them too, because I've got to get this going and I can't waste time on it. They may have time to spend and deal with their other clients, and I'm on a back burner because mine's not a big deal. Mine's a small one, but it still pays. Anyway, so you want to follow along, listen to more? If you have anything you can share with us, feel free to. And like, subscribe, share, comment. I'd love to hear from you. What are your stories? What are your takeaways from all this stuff? Because apparently I'm going to have a lot more. Have a great day.